Director of the African Center for Democracy and Human Rights Studies, and Fatmata Ndoye, Program Manager of the Partners West Africa. Thank you so much for joining us. Mrs. Anna Forster, obviously, whenever, if anybody hears the name, knows exactly, you know, the amazing work that she's doing in this particular area. But Ibrahim, considering that this is the first time that we have the center here, you know, it is important that we just delve into generally the work of the center before we get into that very exciting upcoming event that you have, Auntie Anna.
Thank you very much for having us. The center is Pan-African Human Rights Organization, and it was established in 1989. And perhaps with a sense of pride, I want to say that we'll be celebrating 35 years of existence. We work on the whole of Africa, and our main thrust is on governance, it's on gender equality, conflict management, and the right to development. So for us, we've been able to do a lot of advocacy. We've also done a lot of education and training. We've trained alumni from over 45 African countries, and basically we ensure that they know more about the procedures, how to engage with the regional human rights system as well as the international human rights system. We've done a lot of research as well on the status in various African countries. But our flagship program is that of the Networking for Human Rights in Africa, because all our activities are geared at making sure that we have one human rights community that know what they are doing, know how to engage with the different institutions, and are also able to make their mark. So for us, it's very important that we are hosting under the leadership of the Honorable Minister of Gender, Honorable Fatou Kinte. We are hosting Partners West Africa and people coming from all over West Africa to talk about gender equality and also how to ensure that there is peace and security. It's also an advocacy visit, yes, to ensure that people know more about the framework, know more about what is happening in various African countries on the issue of gender equality, women, peace and security.
Well, since establishment of the center in 1989, it's a very long time. It will be important for you to share some of the successes, if possible. You won't be able to tell me all, but at least some.
Perhaps just to say that in the area of gender equality, we've been involved in the development of the African Women's Protocol. I'm sure you know about the Maputo Protocol, which is also one of the documents that we are using. This was one of the things that came out from the training. You know, in training we also, because we are training people who are adults, so in their working groups, they came up with issues as to what they would want to see, because we were working with the African Charter on Human and People's Rights. And they felt that it wasn't enough for the women. The women need something that addresses their own situation. At the time, we know that there was only CEDAW, the Convention on the Elimination of All Forms of Discrimination against Women. So we started, in their working groups, they came up with ideas. And fortunately, at the time, we were working with the African Commission under the chairmanship of Professor Dankwa. And we started compiling those contributions. And I think in a spell of about 2-3 years, we were able to share those outcomes with the Commission. And these were shared with the AU Commission in Addis Ababa. And as time went on, they set up a working group comprising the African Center, the International Commission of Jurists, and WILDAF, 3 CSOs that worked with the Commission to develop a draft that went to the AU Commission, and then it was open to other states, for review and the development of the protocol.
So Mrs. Ndoye, you know, can you also take us through what you do at Partners West Africa? You know, the advocacy areas that you take a look at.
Okay. Oh, thank you. I'm Fatmata Ndoye. I'm program manager from Partners West Africa, Senegal. So before answering your question, foog naa Ibrahima dañ koy keep parce que
waa déedéet xam nga dafa am lu tax ma bëggoon koo daaxa because xam nga maa moom du ñuy juboo si man damaa demee nii wax lii moom mu demee nii indee ko feneen moo tax ma bëggoo koo jël rek saani ko
waaye nag waaye yoo non waaye
soo seetee li ñu boole
waaw
di nga gis ne dina am nañ panel boo xam ne sax dañ ko wax he for she
ay góor xakañ dafa waaw because he man sa anti Anna man kii man maa bëgg mu nekk he for she
non waaye moom xam na ne man pour jigéen ñi la man dama dee taxawal jigéen
dégg
loolu nga wax tey fii lañ ko waxee
jeex na ba waaye yoo xam nga loolu di
am naa seet rek jeex na waaw wax bi jeex tak waaw wax bi jeex tak
léegi foog naa ci loolu noonu comme li ñuy wax question about women it's not just between women we should include he for she men's and so on. And in fact, we will have a solution in order to increase women participation.
True.
And in Partners West Africa, Senegal, first time I see your emission, it was during my first stay, I think last month. You talking about issues with the back, with the, comment ça s'appelle? Back B.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was before OIC activities, but it was very interesting. But because we're working too in road safety initiative in Senegal.
Amazing.
Yeah. Since 2017, and that's why it was very interesting for me to follow.
I'm glad.
Yeah. And in Partners West Africa, Senegal, we start working in 2010.
Wow.
Yeah, General Lamine Cissé moo nekkoon suñu PCA. suñu board bi. fi mu nekk nii professeur Ajaratu Waha Aidara Ndiaye moo nekk suñu executive director. mënul woon ñëw parce que dafa amoon benn conflict agenda. moo tax mu yebal ñu staff bi ñu ñëw. mais ñu ngi work si comme Anna nu mu ko waxee léegi peace, security, women participation, ñu ngi work tamit si democracy, good governance and so on. loolu yëpp ñu ngi ciy liggéey. mais si activité bii nii dañu focus on advocacy. At first years ñu ngi def benn study si women participation in ECOWAS countries ak Tchad ak Mauritanie. donc ci country yooyu yëpp dañ doon def di gëstu di xool naka la jigéen ñi naka la state yi jëlee jigéen ñi naka la leen kiiwee take into account rights jigéen ñi. comme for example ñaata ministre lañu am ci benn gouvernement. ñaata parlement. ñaata mayor lañu am. yooyu yëpp ñu ngi ko doon xool. mais dañu dem ba seetlu ni dafa amoon quelques yenn issues. parce que data yi pour ñu access yi problème la woon. ba pare boo xoolee am na yenn state yi nga xamante ni si. yooyu data sax amuñu ko. donc suñu monitors yi dañu amoon some difficulties to access to this data. first secondly pour ñu xam aussi exactly parce que CSO yi dañu ràññeeku ni ñoom ci seen bopp war nañ leen tàggat ñu gën a am ability to def research yi. voilà loolu yëpp gis nañ ko ci suñu research.
waaw waaye because time bi bariwul noonu fu mu nekk nii dañoo dugg straight si activity bi war a am si organisation bi yéen a ngi war a am this training already. Auntie Anna, you talked about 200 individuals who will be converging to be trained on the different instruments, the Maputo Protocol, CEDAW and all other areas that are necessary. So I just wanted to ask quickly, is this prompted by the Parliament's attempt to repeal the FGM law, or this was on the pipeline ever since? But is it prompted by current dynamics in the country?
This particular activity, we've been talking about it since the beginning of the year. In fact, last year, and then it came into this year. And we felt that because the center had also carried out a research in Gambia, looking at the political party manifestos and constitutions to see how gender sensitive they are. And that also has fed into this particular project. this particular project we have brought in, we will have various roundtables.
Okay.
Yes, and there will be one
He
that
for
will
she.
deal with the he for she. But what is important is to look at how involved or what is the level of participation for women in West Africa. Like he said, if you look at the good governance, the protocol of ECOWAS, protocol on good governance and human rights, you find out that there is a gap between a whole lot of issues. The protocol is saying something, but then there's a disparity, yes, between law, policy, and practice. And this is something that we want to look at and also to identify the gaps and to see how together we can resolve these issues, how together we can contribute towards resolving and making sure that women have their rightful places. But then the issue, there will also be a roundtable by religious leaders, and we'll be looking at some
traditional
of these issues.
practices.
Yes, harmful traditional practices. Yes, today is FGM, but tomorrow we don't know what other harmful traditional practice will be put out there. So we believe that, like they said, local solutions to local problems. So as members of the West African community, I think this is an opportunity for us to come together and to look at these issues and to see how we can together resolve it.
I hope there will be the will for us to resolve these issues, because I mean there are many discussions that were centered previously. I mean, but still the problems persist. But I hope this will bring a solution this time.
We hope, and perhaps I just need to call attention to the fact that this evening there is going to be a roundtable organized by the Vice Chairperson of the African Commission on Human and People's Rights, and we'll be looking at FGM, harmful traditional practice, and from different perspectives this evening at the Bakadaji Hotel. Yes, and I'm sure you have information on that as well.
Yes, so who are some of the dignitaries that should be expected to participate? Because, you know, that's sort of political will at the convergence.
Okay, for this, for Thursday's convergence, we have a roundtable for the ministers. We also have a roundtable for the he for she's. We also have a roundtable for the religious leaders.
And DFS.
And
DFS.
the defense force. We even have one that will be dealing with, we have people coming from, is it Chad? And from Gambia, from the office of the CDS. They'll be with us on Thursday and Friday at the Tamala Hotel, yes, to share their outcomes and to see how together with the different stakeholders coming in and discussing, and to see how we can push the agenda of gender equality in these various sectors.
Because already we see there's an issue in the Gambia currently, you know, like with our parliament, you know, the president had to nominate about 2 women, you know, because most of them, you know, they're not voted in.
Since independence, the parliament has never gotten above 7%.
Wow.
Representation for women.
So
it's a problem that I don't
has
know.
Been there forever.
That's right.
Wow, it has been there forever.
Because people will say, okay, why don't you whatever? But we all know that there are various challenges that need to be addressed before we get there.
Wow, before jigéen di taxaw mom fokk ñu solve problem yi
most of these people,
because xam nga Balde waxoon naa la ko the last time,
most of these people that are voted in office are voted by women. So I think it's important for us to give women the chance. But you know, one thing we are fond of,
not giving women the
chance.
Yes, one thing we are fond of as a country, we like talking, but when it comes to action, we don't.
But it's not only in Gambia.
Wow, it's a global problem.
Yes. Look at even America. They've never had a female president, have they? They haven't. So these problems are inherent in our different nations. How do we together.
waaye anti Anna xam nga tamit comme li nga wax dafa am community challenges yi nga xam ne dañ ko war a solve njëkka wax nga fi ne da ngeen doon seet party manifestos yi party agendas yi party yi seen boppa dañ dee identify seen winnable constituencies yi parti buy taxaw xam nga ne man parti bi man si constituency bi laa mu ne si constituency bi soo demee si constituency yooyu duñ fa dee teg jigéen de te yëg nañ ko dañ dee dem ut constituency boo xam ne amuñ fa benn stronghold ñu jël fa teg fa jigéen jël ko ne am nañ party agenda teg nañ fa ay jigéen loolu moom dëgg bi rek
pare tamit sax soo seetee some of the outcomes from that particular
waaw
di nga gis ne jigéen ñi ñu bari soo leen laajee lu tax yow sax doo taxaw duñ la dee wax
waaw
ñu ne man dañ laa saaga
dañ laa xas
su ko defee ñu ne kii parewuta
kii sëyut
kii ni
dafa dog kawaram bi
def nii façon yi lifin it was very disheartening that somebody who wants to help build the nation is being looked at in a very derogatory manner. So I'm sure as we go along, we should be able to find solutions to this challenge.
So Senegal, fofu lan moy li bi condition bi fofu because gis nañ na tamit Bassirou Diomaye Faye bum jëlé li fi nam bi government am bi constitute ko gis nañoon ay wax Senegalese activistes yi génn nañ fu nekk wax ne moom tamit expectoon nañ ne government am bi dina fa def jigéen yu bari waaye gis nañ ne góor yi ñoo dominate currently Sénégal si boppam parlement bi foofu noonu mu nekk lu activistes yi di ñaawlu tamit.
mais comme li anti problème bi du nekk just benn country mais
ñëpp la
boo xoolee mi ngi wax léegi Ibrahima mi ngi wax léegi fii ci Gambia fii ci Sénégal fële ci Tchad fële ci Mauritanie yëpp same problème boo xoolee women's participation amul doole noonu parce que dañu war a xool at first ñun ñii suñu bopp en tant que jigéen ñun ñoo war a xam ni am nañ ay ability am nañ ay am nañ aussi ay power yu ñu mën a allow ñuy def suñu liggéey correctly at the same time Sénégal tamit amoon na ay wax yu bëri yu jëmale ci côté boobu noonu mais foog naa ni ñu ngi koy jéem di correct donc ñu ngi jëm ci kaw li ñu doon wax léegi par rapport ak regional level bi parce que last year ñu ngi woon Niamey Niger def nañ fa benn national advocacy workshop foofu noonu tamit am nañ ay recommandation yi nga xam ne am nañ ko ba ñu paree loolu ñu jógee Niger ñu dem encore Accra foofu noonu ba ñu demee Accra am nañ tamit ay recommandation mais workshop boobu noonu dafa focus woon ci violence extremism ba ñu demee tamit novembre bi passé ñu ngi woon Tchad
waaw
ba minister of women bi ci boppam moom moo receive recommendation yi nga xamante ni si moom la ñu am ci session boobu noonu donc bu ñu boolee ñetti recommendation yi from Niamey from Accra and from N'Djamena ci regional activity bi dinañ ko jébal authorities yi ñu xool exactly lan lañ ci mën a def lan lañ mën a yokk lan lañ mën a correct ak fan lañu toll mais laata ñuy correct lead il faut que ñu xam ñu saytu exactly la yan lan la ñu jot a réaliser depuis ba ñu commencé ba tey donc loolu la ñu fas yéene def si activité bi tamit ñu am benn statement foog naa Anna wax na ko ñu am benn statement bi nga xamante ni si dinañ ko fas yéene jox authorities yi at national ak regional level
waaw
through honorable minister Fatou Kinte so because dëgg la ñun ñëpp am nañ éni wante ministre bi moom ñoom ñoo amee lifin bi pour war a xam lan la nit yi wax lan la stakeholders yi wax ak naka la ñoom ci seen boppa because ñoom ñoo jiite yoon bi ñoom ñooy xaala yoon bi te ñu nit à civil society dañ leen a jàppale si waaw su neexee yàlla
waaw dafa mel ni fu mu nekk nii moom time bi jeex na waaye ñu ngi leen di wish good luck waaye Balde dafa am session
dina ñëw de
xam nga lim fi wax nii te yëpp du ko fi daan wax de lu fi daan wax nii tey la ko fi waxee
ñu ne suñooy compter xeet waaw suñooy compter xeet